Hey guys, today's story is about a DM that doesn't really let the campaign get off the ground, and then thinks that all of his players are in a massive conspiracy against him. This game was on Roll20 with strangers, so going in I knew that it would be a hit or a miss. I've played games with strangers that have turned out to be disasters, and I've played games where everyone has become friends and had a great time. Never before had I played a game that was such an absolute disaster, where everything that could have gone wrong did so right from the outset. The setup was some sort of heist one-shot. We had all been contacted by some mysterious benefactor to meet up at this tavern, and from there, we'd be hired to break into some manor in the town. We were all asked to come up with thieving characters, or ones that would have an interest in making money without asking questions. So I came up with a charlatan bard with disguise self and charm person powers. I specifically state as part of his backstory that he had disguise self, and confirmed with the DM that this wouldn't be too overpowered for the infiltration mission that he wanted us to play. He said it was all fine, as we would be starting at a high enough level for these abilities to have. Sounds alright so far for a Thieves Guild quest, right? Well, the game started and everything went wrong. Firstly, I was playing this game with 9 strangers, some of whom didn't even get the chance to do their introductions, as some of the players were hogging the spotlight, talking over everyone else or going off and brooding in the corner and refusing prompts to interact with the rest of the party. Secondly, we were all level 1, which is not what we discussed. It resulted in everyone with a cool backstory now being a loser scrub, and half of the abilities that we were okayed for in private were being wiped off our character sheets. So, you know, thanks for lying straight to my face on that one to get me into your game there, DM. For third, the DM decided he wanted our patron to be some sort of mysterious benefactor, but went about it all the wrong way. We were told that we received unsigned notes to meet someone there, and not to trust anyone else. So this ensured that we were all just sitting around, waiting for the quest giver to show up and avoid each other's characters. The tavern was having some sort of Night of Games event where everyone must participate in it. I suppose that this was done as some sort of icebreaker to make us form teams and get to know each other. But it was almost immediately ruined by pairing us up with NPCs, and making our opponents also NPCs. These little dice gambling games went on for over an hour in real time, and resulted in most of us getting crap-faced drunk from mandatory drinking contests. For 5, we won the contest, and got some sort of gem with a message written in it, in a language that only a few of the party members could read. It was supposed to get us to share the message with those who could also read it. Except, the guy who won the gem was one of the only 2 people who could read it, and he was a massive butt munch. He refused to share the message with anyone else, and repeatedly declared his intent to leave us all there and go after the treasure by himself. He needed to be stopped multiple times out of character from doing this. At this point, the DM was barely paying attention, and he didn't understand that the PC wasn't sharing the message not because he didn't understand it, but just because he was a jerk. He sent in a DMPC who also spoke the language into the tavern, and she awkwardly tried to start a conversation with the problem PC, and was told to screw off, and then just sort of wandered around the inn with no idea what to do. We repeatedly asked this lady, in and out of character, if she could just give us the mission without this Carmen Sandiego coded message shtick. We found out later from the DM that she is a member of the secret society, but she feigned ignorance of what we were talking about and wandered out the door. He was really committed to this secret agent Little Orphan Annie coded message bullcrap, never mind the fact that everyone hated it and wasn't having fun. At this point, we were now 3 hours in, and half the party had left without a word. Eventually, the DM and the problem player got bored. The former from no one getting his brilliant message, and the player from not being allowed to solo the adventure. And after all of this, the message just simply said, "Go behind the bar." So we went behind the bar and almost got into a fight with the barkeep. After spending another half hour in real time looking for another clue, the DM passive-aggressively suggested that we go into the alley behind the bar. And then when we went behind the bar in the alleyway, there was no one there. So we stood around for a little bit, waiting for our contact to show up. Eventually, the DM told us to dig a hole in the ground to find, well, another sign with a coded message on it. And we deciphered it, and it just said to go to the manor. Now, keep in mind that at this point, it had been 3.5 real-world hours at this point. Including myself, all but 4 people had left without a word. We were just starting the mission that this one-shot was supposed to be about. This is a theater of the mind game, and it's not at all working well with this sort of story. Can we climb the fence?
No, it's too high.
How high is it?
Too high.
Can we dig under the fence or jump onto the building from another rooftop?
No, there's guards watching.
How many guards and where are they?
There's too many guards. They're everywhere at once. It's impossible to sneak up on this mansion without being seen.
It'd sure be nice if we weren't all level 1, wouldn't it? Can we ask the guards to let us in and show him the letter?
The guards ask the owner of the mansion who you are, and he's never heard of you. You're told to leave. And now the guards are on alert because they know you want to get in. Nice going.
Well, screw you too, GM. We went to a general store to get some supplies, and the DM proudly stated at the start that he liked to have challenging NPC interactions. This meant that literally anyone that we talked to acted like they were 2 seconds from calling the guards to arrest us, even if we weren't doing anything malicious. Like, I go up to the bar and ask the barkeep to pour me an ale.
The barkeep squints at you and asks why someone would want to buy an ale in a tavern. That's very suspicious. Roll a persuasion check to convince him that you're not up to no good.
I just wanted to drink, dude, not to kill and rob him. And every time that we wanted to buy something, we needed to make a similar check, even if it was just basic supplies like rope, and not something ultra specialized for evil deeds, like deadly poison. With us being 5 hours in now, without even entering the manor, we just said screw it and ended it there. All of us resolving to burn the mansion down if we do meet back up. And the DM freaked out, asking why every single time that he tried to run this brilliant adventure he thought up, everyone ended up burning the manor down. He was going to make this into a whole campaign of adventures for this secret group, and we ruined it for him. We tried telling him that this whole convoluted mess with the coded messages was just a waste of time, and someone should either have been at the bar to tell us to rob the manor, or just start us off already knowing what to do. He ignored us and continued to whine, as if 9 strangers on the interwebs got together to launch a campaign to ruin his brilliant ideas before they could begin. Train of thought type. Unhinged stuff. So, I left. And all the next day, he sent me unprompted invites back to the group, so I blocked him. And to this day, I'm still not entirely convinced that this whole thing wasn't just a fever dream. Well guys, this DM was certainly having his own head up his own rear end. It's obviously a massive conspiracy if every single one of your players doesn't really like the way that you're DMing. You definitely shouldn't listen to them at all on their critiques of your DMing style. It's all a ploy to make you question yourself. Seriously though, this DM is crappy, obviously. And it kinda sucks though, because that actually sounded like it could have been a good idea for a campaign. But in any case, that's the end of the story, so hopefully you enjoyed, and have a good one.